So I wanted to give a demo of the website, which is a React.js website. What I've been finding out is it's easier to kind of construct the flow on a website and then take that, the different portions of that data and take them to the apps. But anyway, so here's the landing page and go into, I'm not a fan of the searching stuff now, but I just wanted to show that this is Ralph's original ideas, a list, or actually a no list, which would be something like that. And then when you start typing in, you get something like that. Now, like I said, I'm not a big fan of it. I just wanted to show this stuff working, the screen search and the screen filter. And again, my thought process now is that we actually do the searching within the app itself, so the user thinks they're talking to some entity that's giving them a response, but then that's what's encouraging the search, or the trying to not to focus on this finding the subject. It's finding it's actually finishing the session that provides the information, and then things start to make sense in my mind. So anyway, so I kind of like the idea of dropping, skipping all this search stuff and dropping them into a chat app, which I think more people are familiar with, at least of that generation. So I'm going to log in as test@test.com. It's just anyway, and that gives me access to the sessions. And so in the sessions is what I'm thinking is we should get dropped into immediately, and I'm going to pick on this one right now because I've been using it. But then we just use the chat as a mechanism for searching, but then we also have, who's in the sessions. That's not important for this, but it's important for other structures. And this is the mapping thing, where you show where we are and where the other people are, which I think is important. And that's what I've got a test going here for just that, which is, if you notice, you see how it zooms in. What it did, it grabbed all the people in the session, which are these test points that I have, and then locates them and then draws the map around them, which is, anyway, but that's just a test one. So let's go back to sessions, this view sessions. Want to keep going through it, log in. So chat, I think I've showed you the chat, which this is real dynamic, and the users, which I don't think that's, because you can get that information in a chat, and the session page location store. Oh, I was running into, when you're trying to track location of the people, the venue, and the all these things at the same time, and I was looking at a data structure. I actually think, and then again, in my brain, it started saying, hey, what the important thing is the completion of the session, and so we should probably store the location information and the time, and all that stuff in the chat session, which I'll get into a little bit later. But and then the extended content is that, there's this document, or there's this task, or whatever, to give them quick access to that extended document. But again, I think the only thing that the phone app should be is more of that just a session. So there's no pages, no really configuration or nothing. It's just a chat session. But the chat session is trying to align the person up. And anyway, with completing a session, or with getting them into a session that will help. So now, I need to show you the settings, because I got a lot of work in on all this stuff, is create, especially, the basics. And this is creating the user profiling so that we can make good, chat AI stuff. And then photos, about uniquing it. In fact, I got all this stuff working, which you can flip that around. You can actually drop images into there, and this test changes your icon, and getting all that working, which is a hassle, but it really doesn't matter. But it's touchy feely stuff. So let's go into show test, show focus. Okay, I showed you the test thing, which is the location mapping stuff, which automatically zooms and all that stuff. And then that's where I was getting stuck at is that these locations need to be dynamically updated. Where to do that? And I'd focus in on the chat. If we focus on the chat, then everything starts to make sense to me. Anyway, demo test feature in Firebase. Okay, so now this is the Firebase backend for that session, and I just wanted to show kind of the overview and of it. But the big thing is, okay, so showed class. So the database is, I'll show it. I forgot to show his sessions real quick, but I'll show it's basically, this is how you allocate the user, and all that stuff's kind of wired into the the Firebase. Firebase is, Google bot, but it's a MongoDB base. So if you really want to, we could, recreate it. But the demo, demo. If I show test screen, so I showed the project board to show the Cloud Store sessions. Okay, so Cloud Store, this is where most of the data is, like the users, and these are the user profile information. This is the subjects that I was searching for, and this is where I get stuck on, is how to populate that. And I think that we shouldn't, we should just kind of, the AI or whatever will eventually build that up. But really, initially, you just you put the user in a session, and then you populate the session with people that can help. And that, again, I can't stress that enough. It just started to make sense to me when I thought about it that way. Anyway, and the session in this session is created by the user coming in. Anyway, but then it's populating with the people that can help, and with information, and then this is the people that are attending that session of what the users want. And I was kind of thinking more of group study and stuff like that. But anyway, that all said, that's all populating the database for the session. And then for the real-time stuff, which is the chat stuff, we go into the real-time database stuff, because this stuff needs to dynamically update, which I have working. It's just that, and this is where I was getting into, I think this is where the location information belongs. So as the person is chatting, if they have their location information enabled, their location updates, and it's put in a chat session. So the system is dynamically doing this, which is the test thing is it locates the users and then zooms to where they are currently. So and what else? Real-time chats having streams update, and I want to talk about Google Map. Okay, one of the things that Google's doing is that with like restaurants and locating restaurants near you, you can do that, but we could change, instead of restaurants near you, is tutors next to me, or tutors near me, or tutors able to help on this. But that's populate. We could use all the Google API resources and blah 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 blah. That may be something to investigate. I don't know, but it would make things, I think, easier. But anyway, talk about mapping based on call server. What I kept running into, instead of searching, it's a chat session, and then the chat session, either an AI, but if it's something not profiled in the user, or whatever, it's reaching out to someone local that can help, or even within the user's own established group, which may be that may be an ongoing it plugs more into the service industry thing and all this stuff, and it just starting to make sense to me when you basically keep the session, you're dropping the user in sessions and not trying to find or search or anything like that. So you're getting it outside the search thing, and you're getting it into a profiling thing. Anyway, I don't know if that's making any sense, but I think I'm going to stop there. I've got some more. I'll show you some parts on these are demo for the actual phone app stuff.